How to actually make women like you. If there's one thing I've learned about women, it's this: they don't want you to be perfect. They want you to be real. To stand tall in who you are, flaws and all, and yet still be unapologetically confident. Because, let's face it, you've been doing it wrong. You've been following all the advice that never actually works, thinking that being the nice guy or the funny guy is going to get you somewhere. Spoiler alert, it won't. So let's cut the crap. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to make women like you for who you really are. No gimmicks, just raw, unfiltered truth. You think women like you because you compliment them, because you open doors, because you put them on a pedestal. That's what the world sold you, right? But here's the brutal truth. She doesn't like you for how well you treat her. She likes you for how you make her feel when she's around you. And there's a massive difference. Imagine this. You're sitting across from her at dinner. You've rehearsed the conversation in your head 1,000 times, lined up your best jokes, and even planned when to flash that smile. You think you're performing perfectly, but the look in her eyes isn't connection, it's boredom. Inside her head, she's thinking, this guy is trying way too hard. And she's right, because in that moment, you're not being you, you're being a performance. Here's the psychology most men miss. Women are wired to pick up on incongruence. They sense when the energy you project doesn't match the truth of who you are. You say you're confident, but your body screams insecurity. You say you're laid back, but your constant nervous laugh tells a different story. She sees it instantly, and the second she does, attraction dies quietly. The mistake most men make is thinking women are judging their words. They're not. They're judging your vibe, your energy, the way you hold yourself when the silence stretches a little too long, the way you handle rejection when she doesn't laugh at your joke, the way you look into her eyes, not to prove something, but because you genuinely want to. So here's the challenge. Stop focusing on what to say and start focusing on how you feel when you're with her. Next time you're talking to a woman, notice your own energy. Are you desperate for approval? Are you worried about saying the wrong thing? Are you editing yourself to be liked? If you are, she can feel it, and the more you try to hide it, the louder it becomes. Now let me give you a gut punch example. Think about the guy who walks into a room and doesn't even notice her at first. He's laughing with his friends, totally comfortable in his own skin, not performing for anyone. When he finally talks to her, he's not trying to impress. He's just curious. He asks questions like he actually wants to know, not like he's trying to unlock a cheat code. She feels his presence. She feels that he's not bending himself into knots just to be liked, and that's the man she can't stop thinking about later. That's the secret. Attraction isn't about being the nicest, funniest, or most impressive guy. It's about being the man who doesn't need her validation to stand tall. When you become that man, women start leaning in. They chase you. They crave your attention because it's not freely given. It's earned by real connection. And here's the kicker. You've been wasting years trying to learn pickup lines, tricks, strategies, but the truth is much simpler. Women like you when you like yourself enough not to beg for their approval. The moment you stop seeking her permission to be attractive is the moment she actually feels attracted. And that's where the game flips completely. Picture this. You're walking down the street with her. She makes a teasing comment about your shoes, something like, "Wow, those are, bold." The insecure guy panics. He laughs too hard, explains why he bought them, and tries to justify his choice. The confident guy? He smirks, shrugs, and says, "Yeah, they're ridiculous, but I like them." Then he keeps walking unfazed. Guess which guy she's still thinking about from that night? It's not the shoes. It's never about the shoes. It's the signal you send when you own your choices without needing her approval. Every moment with a woman is a silent test. She's not doing it to be cruel. She's wired that way. Her subconscious wants to know, is this man stable or is he going to collapse under pressure? Because if he collapses over a comment about your shoes, how are you going to handle real life when things get tough? And here's where most men destroy themselves. They try to be perfect. They try to avoid mistakes, avoid tension, and avoid any moment where she might not like them. But what you don't realize is that tension is exactly what creates attraction. Think about a guitar string. Too loose and it's lifeless, with no sound. Too tight and it snaps. The sweet spot is that perfect tension that makes music. Conversations with women are the same. If you avoid all tension, you're boring. If you crumble under tension, you're weak. But if you lean into it, if you can smile while it's uncomfortable, she feels something deeper. Here's a brutal truth. Women don't fall for the man who never messes up. They fall for the man who can mess up, own it, and move forward without losing himself. She teases you, you tease back. You stumble on your words, you laugh at yourself instead of spiraling. That resilience is magnetic. Let me put it another way. Imagine you're at a bar. You tell a story, and halfway through, you realize it's going nowhere. The insecure guy panics, gets flustered, apologizes, and then kills the mood with, anyway. The confident guy, he laughs mid-sentence and says, wow, that story sounded way better in my head. Forget it. And then he moves on like nothing happened. What does she feel in that moment? Relief, excitement, curiosity, because he just showed her he's human but not fragile. You need to understand this. Attraction is survival-level psychology. Women are hardwired to look for men who can handle pressure, who can lead, and who don't crumble when things go sideways. It's not about money, looks, or status, not at the core. Those things help, sure, but they're surface level. The raw truth is she's watching how you respond to life itself. And if you can't handle a little social friction, why would she trust you with her emotions, her future, or her body? So here's your exercise. Next time you're with a woman and something uncomfortable happens, a silence, a tease, a rejection, don't run from it. Breathe into it. Sit with it. Smirk if you want, but don't explain yourself, don't justify, don't collapse. Hold the tension like a man, because the moment you do, she'll feel that spark in her gut that says, this one is different. And when she feels that, suddenly, the entire dynamic shifts. Think back to the last time you saw a guy who had women orbiting around him. He wasn't the best-looking guy in the room, he wasn't showering them with compliments or pulling out his wallet every 5 seconds. What he had was something most men never master: presence. That quiet gravity that makes everyone else tune in. And here's the truth. Presence isn't about talking more, it's about needing less. When you're present, you're not strategizing in your head. You're not calculating your next line like you're defusing a bomb. You're here, now, listening. Women feel that like electricity. She can tell when you're actually paying attention to her words versus waiting for your turn to sound impressive. And when she feels seen, not judged, not analyzed, but seen, that's when attraction roots itself deep. Here's the trap you've fallen into. You mistake approval-seeking for connection. You think nodding at everything she says and agreeing with all her opinions makes her feel safe. It doesn't. It makes you look spineless. True connection is built on polarity. Two different energies meeting and dancing, not one man dissolving into whatever he thinks she wants. Imagine she says, "I love this band," and you don't. The approval-seeking man fakes enthusiasm. "Oh yeah, they're great." The man with presence just says, "Not my vibe, but I like that you're into it." No apology, no justification. He holds his ground, but without aggression. And in that moment, she feels it, his honesty. his self-possession. That's attractive. Most men don't get this. A woman doesn't want a mirror. She wants a man, someone with edges, opinions, and a backbone. That doesn't mean being a jerk. It means standing as yourself even when she pushes, even when she disagrees. Because if you bend every time, she can never trust that you'll hold when life tests you. Here's a raw exercise. The next time you're talking to a woman and you disagree with something she says, don't fold, don't fake it. Just smile and say, I see it differently. Watch what happens. 9 times out of 10, she'll lean in, intrigued. Because you just broke the script. You stopped being predictable. You showed her you're not afraid of friction. And here's the kicker. You don't build presence by practicing lines. You build it by stripping away the noise, by spending time alone without your phone buzzing, by learning to sit with silence, by looking people in the eye and not filling every gap with words. Presence is built in the spaces men usually run from. Because at the end of the day, women don't remember what you said. They remember how they felt in your presence. Did they feel a man grounded in himself, calm in chaos, unapologetically alive? Or did they feel a boy fidgeting for approval? That's the fork in the road. That's the line that separates attraction from indifference. And the second you cross it, everything about how women respond to you changes. Let me paint you a scene. You're sitting across from her in a dimly lit cafe. She leans back in her chair, eyes locked on you, and asks, "So, what are you looking for?" In that moment, most men choke. Their mind races. What's the right answer? What will make her like me? So they say something safe, bland, and rehearsed. Just seeing where things go. And instantly the spark dies. Because here's the truth. Women don't want safe. They want certain. Not controlling, not rigid, but certain. A man who knows himself. A man who isn't afraid to put his truth on the table. So when she asks that question, the man she remembers isn't the one who fumbles out a half answer. It's the one who looks her dead in the eye and says, I know what I want. I'm not in a rush, but I'm not here to waste time either. That certainty electrifies her nervous system. And this is where most guys fail. They confuse being likable with being desired. Likable is vanilla. It offends no one, excites no one. Desired is different. Desired means she feels your clarity, your unapologetic edge, and your refusal to hide behind half-truths. That's what makes her heartbeat shift. That's what she tells her friends later when she says, there's just something about him. You need to understand that women are constantly swimming in men who bend, men who please, and men who try to mold themselves into the perfect guy. But when you stop molding and just stand in your truth, you become rare. And rarity is irresistible. Think about it. Gold isn't valuable because it's shiny. It's valuable because it's scarce. The same goes for men who are grounded in themselves.
Now here's the gut punch. Most of you are terrified of rejection, so you water yourself down. You think if you hide your edges, you won't scare her off. But it's the edges that make her want to stay. Rejection isn't your enemy, it's your filter. When you show up as you are, 2 things happen. The wrong women fade fast, and the right women feel a gravitational pull they can't explain. Here's your challenge. Stop treating every woman like she's your only shot. Start treating yourself like you're the prize she's lucky to meet. Not in an arrogant way, but in a calm, unshakable way. The energy is simple. I know who I am. I like who I am. You're welcome to join me, but I don't need you to validate me. Do that, and watch how differently women respond. Watch how the conversations change. Watch how they lean in, how their eyes light up, and how they start qualifying themselves to you instead of the other way around. Because at the deepest level, women don't like you because of what you give them. They like you because of what you awaken in them. And when you finally grasp that, you stop chasing and they start choosing. Here's where it gets raw. Most of the guys who complain about women not liking them are secretly terrified of being seen. You put on a mask, funny guy, nice guy, ambitious guy, because you don't think who you are is enough. And here's the paradox. The very mask you wear to protect yourself is the thing that kills attraction. Women don't fall for the character you play. They fall for the man underneath, if you're brave enough to show him. Picture this. You're on a date. She asks about your passions. You give her a generic answer. Oh, I like movies, hanging out, safe. Forgettable. The date ends, and she never calls back. But imagine instead, you drop the mask and say, honestly, I've been obsessed with building something of my own. I don't even know if it'll work, but I can't stop thinking about it. That's real. That's vulnerable. That's alive. And guess what? That's the moment she leans in. You've been sold this lie that vulnerability makes you weak. Wrong. Whining makes you weak. Oversharing to seek pity makes you weak. But owning your truth without apology, that's power. That's the kind of energy that makes her feel this man is solid. He's not hiding. He's not scared of himself. And when she feels that, attraction becomes inevitable. Let me hit you with a brutal example. Imagine two guys lose their job. The first one crumbles, hides it, and pretends everything is fine while he secretly spirals. The second one looks her in the eye and says, yeah, I got laid off. It stings. But honestly, I'm excited to see what's next. I know I'll figure it out. Which man does she respect? Which man does she want to stand beside? It's not about the loss. It's about how he carries it. That's the hidden current running under everything I'm telling you. Women aren't looking for a perfect life. They're looking for a man who can face imperfection without losing himself. Because deep down, she's not just choosing a boyfriend. She's testing for a partner in survival, in growth, and in chaos. If you can't handle your own storms, how can she trust you with hers? Here's your challenge for you. This week, strip the mask. In your conversations, reveal one thing you'd usually hide, not to get sympathy, but to stand in it. Maybe it's your ambition. Maybe it's a struggle you're working through. Maybe it's the fact that you're figuring things out as you go. Whatever it is, say it with calm conviction. No shrinking, no nervous laugh, just you, unedited. Do that and watch how her eyes change. Watch how the air around you shifts. Because in that moment, she's not talking to a character. She's talking to a man. And here's the truth most men never want to hear. You don't make women like you by being flawless. You make women like you by being untouchably real. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who also cares about this. See you in the next video.